LoveBytes, a transformational journey in consciousness. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Chapter 1. We never knew where the path would take us, and still we climbed. Exhausted, I wiped my forehead. Dirt mixing with sweat, creating a smeary trail like a reminder of the trail we have traveled up to this point. The land is foreign, tropical, lush, rich, but foreign for someone who grew up in the north like me. The cacophony of birds is deafening at times, mocking, teasing, taunting, celebrating, and sweetly soothing all at the same time. Flowers that remind me of hibiscus, but as large as my head, rest on fleshy leaves. Strangely, there are no insects, at least none of the blood-sucking biting kind. The air feels layered. There is a light crispness underneath the sweltering tropical heat. Why am I telling you all this, I wonder? I live in two worlds, you see. On one hand, I am traveling up the mysterious path in a jungle unlike any I have ever heard of or imagined before. On the other hand, I am sitting on my sheepskin rug, leaned against my bed, typing words into my laptop. Sit down and write, I had heard just as I was waking up. Seeing a picture of myself opening my MacBook with a blue cover that is showing every single fingerprint. Gotta wipe those off, I'm thinking. Is this writing prompt a result of the conversation I had with my friend Melissa yesterday after channeling during our Master Heart Circle? I am something like an oracle, you see, except that sounds ancient, and I'm not really ancient, more like a normal kind of woman, at a middle kind of age, a perfect age actually. What I channel feels like ancient knowledge though, and brand new at the same time, a bit like the two layers in the air on that mountain path. So yesterday my third grade aspiring author self got resurrected after bouncing around the idea of writing a channeled novel, because most of my channeling comes in these multi-layered, multifaceted pictures anyways. Well, oracle style. So today I wake up to this writing prompt, wondering, why am I telling you all this? I guess this is as mysterious as the jungle path, so let's keep going. Where are we now? I ask my travel companion. He turns to me, beaming. He actually looks freaking illuminated and not a bead of sweat in sight on his strong, kind face. Like he walked through the layer of crisp, fresh morning air while I was trolling through the slightly oppressive, weirdly sweet, decayingly sweet jungle heat. Come, sit with me for a minute, he invites me and points to some rocks that appear seemingly out of nowhere, just like the little clearing where they are located on the side of the path. He takes my hand as he positions himself to face me. I'm a sweaty hot mess, while he is lighting up even more in front of my eyes, literally looking like a light being. WTF, wow. He looks at me, his eyes sending beams of light into mine. Who are you? I hear myself ask him. He laughs lightly, sounding carefree, almost giddy and totally at ease. You might not believe me if I tell you, he replies. Well, okay, try me, sounding more challenging than I intended. I am you, he says softly, holding my gaze with his two-layered, two-colored land and sea eyes. Gosh, his eyes have this incredible depth that just melts my heart, melts me. I feel myself melting into his gaze, into him in a way that I perceive nothing but his eyes, his presence. Yet it feels strangely like I'm feeling my own presence. Whew, I'm shaking my head, wanting to make sense of what I think I had just heard, but I cannot break the spell. Neither do I really want to. I am you. The words begin echoing, but not in my head, more in the space that looks like a bright bubble that has seemingly appeared around us on our seats on the rocks. All of a sudden the atmosphere in the bubble changes. The bright sun dims and stars begin appearing in the night sky. And not any old night sky, the most breathtakingly beautiful night sky I have ever seen. My mouth gapes open as I get up and slowly turn in a circle, eyes cast upward at the dazzling light show that is reaching all the way to the ground. It's like I'm in a planetarium or something, except it feels huge, like another universe. Whoa. Bewildered, speechless, I sit down to face him again, immediately drawn back into the spell of his intensely kind eyes. In my head, a million questions are swirling like scraps of paper in a tornado. What is this? How did you do this? Are just the most obvious ones. It is making me dizzy. And then all of a sudden they stop, like someone turned off the twister, and all those scraps of paper gently and gracefully float to the ground and rest at my feet. A peaceful, spacious stillness is all I can feel, and none of the questions and strange occurrences matter anymore. I am you. There's a presence that is all-encompassing, like I literally had not known before what it meant to be truly present, and been on a sliding scale between sorry, not here at all, to mostly present but still a bit distracted, just in case. In case of what? I snap back to my place at the laptop, like the presence that I'm beginning to feel as I'm telling the story is too much. Like I have to stay in the quote-unquote real, rational world, listening to the sweet morning song of the birds, my mind going on its familiar wanderings, my attention toward a cup of tea. Stay with me, I hear a faint echo. I take a deep breath, postpone the tea, and dive back into the story, head first. I arrive back in the universe under the stars, primly sit down on my rock, smooth down my clothes, and look up. Where were we? He looks at me, shaking his head softly with the sweetest smile on his face, and I feel myself soften and melting into his incredible presence again. Will you trust me? He asks. The question is clear. I can sense no weight around it, no hidden agenda, no weirdness. Will you trust me? My mind does a few somersaults, triple axels, and throws in a roller coaster ride for good measure, while he quietly waits for my answer, emanating a grounded kind of peacefulness. None of this feels wacky at all, as a matter of fact. Okay, I inhale and then exhale deeply, like I need to make space for a new kind of air. This book will change my life, briefly floats through my writer's head, and I am back in presence. Which is a weird thing to say, as presence just is. Like, there is no back to or away from. It simply is. A state of beingness, always around us, in us, with us, always us. We only have to tune in. How did I know this all of a sudden? Overwhelming love begins to curse through my heart as he places his hand in the middle of my chest, ever so slightly rocking it back and forth once, as if to make sure it was properly anchored. It almost feels like I'm going to faint. Breathe with me, he says quietly. I lock eyes with him and allow myself to relax into the calm and steady rhythm of his breath. The tension of the overwhelm begins to fade, and I find myself expanding into the lightest, most spacious state I have ever been in, making room for all this love that is flowing through me. This is you, he says. I am you, and I am mirroring you back to you so you can experience yourself. The incredible, total, and complete love that you are. The beautiful universe you see around us is your universe. I am simply making it visible for you. And with that he vanishes, shoots through my writer's head, and I am noticing myself going, no, you can't go. The story is just beginning. I don't even know your name yet. It's Jay, I hear. Wait, Jay what? Like J dot or J or JC? There's definitely a JC-ness about him. No need to call me JC. Jay is fine, he smiles, and he fades from my view. I'm sitting there kind of stumped and speechless in both of my worlds. Without Jay's steady presence to help me create more space and grounding, the sensation of overwhelm is growing stronger again. Apparently, I'm living this book, at least the energy of it. Oh boy, breathe, I remind myself. And sometimes it's totally okay to take a nap in the middle of the day to integrate all of this. Breathe, I hear. The magic you are to me. You are a deep and magical space for my soul to land and be at peace. Heart bursting open, expanding beyond limits whenever I meet yours. Weaving, dancing, soaring, exploring entirely new dimensions with you in an adventure I've never known to be possible. Recognizing in you what already exists within myself. Breathing in the expansion, the magnificence, not willing to shrink back into the safety and familiarity of a smaller version of myself. Learning to embrace the perfection of the unfolding, eternally grateful we have found each other.